हरि ओम।
हरि ओम।
ओम। ओम। ओम। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। ओम श्री मात्रे नमः। प्रियात्म बंधुलारा, we have so far completed about 53 sessions, Zoom sessions. We are entering the 54th session today. Now we discussed some questions till the other day. Today we will have discussion and some more questions. Somebody is asking a question. I am only 15 years old. Is it good for me to read epics like Ramayana and Bhagavad Gita? This is the question a boy of 15 years age has asked. My answer is, you are asking whether at the age of 15 years you could read epics like Ramayana and Bhagavad Gita. Before answering your question, I want to congratulate you for the nourishing such noble ideas at such tender age. You are fortunate, your parents are fortunate for begetting such a child, and your brothers and sisters are equally fortunate for having such a noble and pious co-born sibling among them. Lord Rama nourished noble thoughts like you at a very tender age of 16 years, and Vasishtha Maharshi taught Lord Rama Yoga Vasishtam, which is similar to Bhagavad Gita, and some of those slokas are much the same way as given in the Bhagavad Gita. Yoga Vasishtam was in the form of a dialogue between Lord Sri Rama and Vasishtha Maharshi, just as the same way Bhagavad Gita is in the form of a dialogue between Lord Sri Krishna and Arjuna. So there is nothing wrong in reading Ramayana and Bhagavad Gita at this tender age. But on the other hand, it is a good riddance for you to get such noble thoughts in early age, and it will stand in good stead for you in your life. So go ahead, my dear, and read both Ramayana and Bhagavad Gita without any hesitation, and try to practice both of them in life. I see a very bright future for you in life, and I wish you well. May God bless you. Hari Om. So next question is, what is the best Bhagavad Gita which is translated to English? Somebody is asking this question. My answer is, when you translate any good book into some other languages, the translation is bound to lose some of its original fragrances, particularly in the spiritual field. I am telling this because I am in the spiritual field for the last more than 35 years, and I have read some books in the spiritual field in both the languages. I read these books, that is Bhagavad Gita and Kundalini Yoga, in Telugu, which is my mother tongue, and English, the language in which I practice my engineering profession and scientific profession. But my personal opinion is that not only the original fragrances are lost in translation, but in some cases there are distorted interpretations at some places and on some issues because of translations. Translators know only the language, but not the spiritual field, and this causes a problem. In fact, Mahatma Gandhi went one step forward and suggested everyone to learn Sanskrit only for the sake of reading the Bhagavad Gita, with a view to enjoying the original fragrances of the Bhagavad Gita. As on today, and to the extent I know, only Shivananda Saraswati Swami wrote the Bhagavad Gita in English language, after his enlightenment. So I would suggest for English language readers only the Bhagavad Gita written by Shivananda Saraswati Swami. Shivananda Saraswati Swami was a professional doctor having done his MBBS. Now, next question is the total number of verses in the Bhagavad Gita is 700, but the chapter verses are different in chapter 1 and chapter 13. It is 47 plus 34 in one and 46 plus 35 in the other. The rest of the chapters have the same number of verses. So which one is correct? This is the question somebody has raised. The total number, my answer is, the total number of slokas of Bhagavad Gita available to humanity as on today are 701. The correct number of slokas in chapter 1 are 47, and the correct number of slokas in chapter 13 are 35. I hope this clears your doubt. The details are as follows. According to Vedavyasa, the slokas in Bhagavad Gita are as follows. Shatshatani savinchani slokanam praha kesavaha Arjuna sapta panchasat sapta shashtincha sanjayaha dhritarashtra slokam ekam gitayam manamuchyati. This is in Mahabharata, Bhishma Parvam, 43rd Adhyayam, 4th sloka. The meaning is, according to the Bhagavad Gita, above sloka, in Bhagavad Gita, the composition of slokas are as follows. Lord Krishna, that is Keshava, he spoke 620, Arjuna 57, Sanjaya 67, and Dhritarashtra 1, total 745. However, as on today, only 701 slokas are available from Bhagavad Gita. That is, chapter 1, in the first chapter, the composition of 7 slokas are as follows. Dhritarashtra, 1 sloka, Arjuna, 21 slokas, Sanjaya, 25 slokas. Chapter 13. In the 13th chapter, the composition of 35 slokas are as follows. Arjuna, 1 sloka, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, 34 slokas. So I hope your doubt has been duly clarified. So the next question is, somebody is asking, what are some of important principles of life told in Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, you are asking what are the important principles of life told in Bhagavad Gita. Number 1, Bhagavad Gita told about Karma Yoga. This means how to do our duty to get maximum benefit out of our work. This is covered under Nishkama Karma. The principles given here are useful to all students, teachers, employees, executives, CEOs, managing directors, chairmen and managing directors, housewives, doctors, lawyers, engineers, technologists, scientists, and people from all walks of life. Point number 2, Bhagavad Gita told about devotion to God, that is Bhakti Yoga, how to worship God, methods of worship, Sakaropasana, that is idol worship, and Nirakaropasana, that is non-idol worship. Point number 3, Bhagavad Gita told about Raja Yoga, which consists of 8 parts, namely Yamam, Niyamam, Asanam, Pranayamam, Pratyaharam, Dharana, Dhyanam, and Samadhi. Point number 4, Bhagavad Gita told about Jnana Yogam, that is about Jnana Tapas, Jnana Yajnam, Jnana Boat, Jnana Fire, and Jnana Sword. Point number 5, Bhagavad Gita told about Dhyana Yogam, that is meditation, methods, principles and practices, difficulties encountered during practice, and overcoming those difficulties. Point number 6, Bhagavad Gita told about Atma, properties of Atma, how to realize Atma, Atma Jnanam, and method of attaining Atma Jnanam. the characteristics of Atma Jnani, that is man of perfection, that is Teta Prajna. Point number 7, Bhagavad Gita told about origin of life, its sustenance and its destruction, constitution of the world and its components. How is God and where is God? How to know him? Point number 8, Bhagavad Gita told about Maya or illusion. What is Maya? How to know Maya? How to overcome Maya? Who can and who can't overcome Maya? When can you overcome Maya? How are people who are out of Maya? Point number 9. Bhagavad Gita told how to die. What one should do at the time of death. What is the importance of time of death? Types of death. Who will be reborn and who will not be reborn. Point number 10. Bhagavad Gita told about Raja Vidya and Raja Rahasyam, that is princely Vidya and princely secret. The oversimplified nature of Raja Vidya, which is both theoretical and practical. Despite this, why people don't practice Raja Vidya? How even the bad-nurtured people could convert the good-nurtured ones? Point number 11. Bhagavad Gita told about the most magnificent identities of God and all pervadingness of God. Point number 12. Bhagavad Gita told about the powerfulness of God and his soft, simple, as well as multifaceted, multidimensional, multi-ambient forms in all its glorified nature. Point number 13. Bhagavad Gita told about the pure devotee and his or her characteristics of a good nature. Which types of devotee is most loved and liked by God? Point number 14. Bhagavad Gita told about the living bodies and non-living bodies, characteristics of Jnani and characteristics of God. Point number 15. Bhagavad Gita told about the nature of three gunas, their characteristics, and the secrets of past, present, and future relations of people and how they are formed. Point number 16. Bhagavad Gita told about moksham, how it is, where it is, how to attain, who attains, and who can't. It describes the mechanism of crops, food digestion, and what goes with the dead ones. Point number 17. Bhagavad Gita told the characteristics of divine and demonic types of people. What happens in the ultimate analysis to both groups? Point number 18. Bhagavad Gita told about sincerity and insincerity and outcomes of both groups. What to eat and what not to eat. How to do tapas, charity, and yajnam. Point number 19. Bhagavad Gita told about rains and crops, how to get bountiful rains and crops, what to do and what not to do. What is sannyasam, caste system, secret of doing karma, and how to attain God and his bliss. Point number 20. The above are briefly the important principles of human life covered in the Bhagavad Gita. So that is the answer to the questioner. Now somebody is asking another question. Did Arjuna misunderstand the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, you are asking a question as to whether Arjuna misunderstood Bhagavad Gita. Absolutely, there is no scope for Arjuna misunderstanding the Bhagavad Gita because Lord Krishna very clearly asked him in Sloka 18-72 as to whether Arjuna heard Bhagavad Gita with rapt attention and whether his delusion has disappeared and whether his ajnanam and moham have got destroyed or not. For this, Arjuna replied in no uncertain terms that my moham got destroyed. I have by your kind grace obtained the forgotten Atmajnanam back. I am now very firm and stable, and I will do whatever you say. In fact, that is given in Sloka 18-73. From the above conversation between Lord Sri Krishna and Arjuna, it could be very clearly seen that Arjuna completely got out of his delusion, recovered from moham, and confirmed that he was firm and stable. And by implication, he expressed his readiness to fight Kurukshetra war, which he earlier refused to fight and dropped his war weapon, Gandivam, before preaching of Bhagavad Gita by Lord Sri Krishna. So, the question of misunderstanding of Bhagavad Gita by Arjuna is just your personal imagination and not at all correct. Further, Arjuna told in Sloka 11-1 itself that his moham had completely disappeared and that Arjuna fully knew and got convinced that the person who was telling Bhagavad Gita was none other than Lord Vishnu. This view of Arjuna got further strengthened after he witnessed the Vishwarupam of Lord Sri Mahavishnu in 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The further elaboration from 11th to 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita was on so many other secret issues Arjuna got clarified from Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So there is no doubt whatsoever about Arjuna not understanding the Bhagavad Gita. I hope I have clarified you and your doubts. Now, another person is asking the next question. Is it true that Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Sri Krishna? My answer is, if I tell you in what way you would believe, I don't know. But I can take oath on God and tell you that Lord Sri Krishna had spoken Bhagavad Gita, not merely for Arjuna, but for the entire humanity. I may further take oath on God and say that every word, every syllable, every letter spoken there is 100% true. Believe me, I am not telling you anything wrong. Lord Sri Krishna is none other than Lord Sri Mahavishnu, and he truly spoke the Bhagavad Gita. So next question, somebody is asking, what is the best book to read about Lord Krishna and his philosophy? My answer is, you are asking a question as to what book you should read about Lord Sri Krishna and his philosophy. If you want to fully understand and appreciate about Lord Sri Krishna, his philosophy, you must read Bhagavatam, 10th Skandam, fully. You must read Vyasa Bhagavatam. The original is in Sanskrit, but I'm sure you will get its translation. I know TTD, Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanam, Tirumala brought out full text of Vyasa Bhagavatam in Telugu. It may be available in other languages also, including English. You can get in touch with them for further details or search for it online. Next question. Which is the finest example of compassion and altruism in the Bhagavad Gita? This is somebody has asked. My answer is, I am sorry, my dear, I could not follow your question. Please be specific in your query. If I can understand your question, I can reply. But at the moment, your question lacks clarity, so please reframe your question in an easily understandable way and redirect it again to me, after which I will answer. Next question. Is anybody following Gita in real life? Somebody has asked this question. My answer is, because Bhagavad Gita is still being followed by some people, this world is still running. The day nobody follows Bhagavad Gita, there will be serious repercussions and life will become nearly impossible. So another person is asking another question. How can we ensure that Srimad Bhagavad Gita told to Arjuna by Lord Krishna is same way as that we are reading today? Can there be a possibility that Vedavyasji interpretation may be different from what was told by Lord Sri Krishna? My answer is, you please read Sloka 4-40 as answer for your question. That is 4th chapter, 40th Sloka. The man he is full of faith, who is devoted to it, and who has subdued all the senses, obtains this knowledge. And having obtained the knowledge, he goes at once to the supreme peace. God himself preempted questions by people like you and answered your question in no uncertain terms. For every question, there is an answer in Bhagavad Gita. Read it below. I am repeating Sloka 4-40, that is 4th chapter, 40th Sloka. Ajnascha Shraddhadanascha Samshayatma Vinasyati. Nayam Lokosti na Puro na Sukham Samshayatmanaha. The meaning is, the ignorant, the faithless, the doubting self proceeds to destruction. There is neither this world nor the other, nor happiness for the doubting Thomases. God himself has preempted your question by people like you as above and answered your question in no uncertain terms. For every question, there is an answer in the Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, he told, for people with sincerity, they will get full knowledge and they will also get peace in life. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparasam jitendriya jnanam ladva param shanti machirena digachati. Shanti means peace. After getting knowledge, they will get shanti. But they will get this knowledge only if they are sincere, not otherwise. So next question, somebody is asking, what is the right age to read Bhagavad Gita? Or what is the perfect age to read Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, we teach our children all good things in formative age. In tender age, it is very easy to catch based on early taste in formative age only. The child develops interest in maths, science, language, etc. And we parents put him or her in science stream, art stream, or language stream, etc., depending on their interest. Similarly, the foundation in children for Bhagavad Gita must be laid in early age. So I feel all parents must teach their children at least 10 to 12 slokas of Bhagavad Gita. Selected ones like 2-3, 2-11, 2-22, 2-27, 3-14, 3-21, 4-7, 4-8, 7-7, 9-22, 9-26, and 18-61. By the time they become 8 years of age, children will start the above slokas. By the time children become 10 years, they should be able to get 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita by heart. That is, 12th chapter is one of the smallest chapters containing only 20 slokas. By the time the child becomes 12 years, he or she should get 9th and 12th chapters by heart. 9th chapter contains about 34 slokas, and in that age, it is not at all difficult to by heart. So, if all parents take these few steps to inculcate interest in Bhagavad Gita, by the time the child becomes 12 years, we can be rest assured that the children will get motivated to read the full text of Bhagavad Gita. Once they get motivated to read, they will automatically find interest in understanding the Bhagavad Gita. Once they understand the Bhagavad Gita, I can surely and confidently say that they will be recognized wherever they go and whatever profession they choose. So, the best age to introduce children to Bhagavad Gita is from around 8 to 12 years of age. May God bless everyone. Next question is, somebody is asking, which is the correct version of Bhagavad Gita? I mean, the one whose way of description is not biased according to wish of author. My answer is, Bhagavad Gita is the same whether X or Y or Z reads. understanding is what is important. Adi Shankaracharya wrote commentary on Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit, which is widely accepted. Later, Madhusudana Saraswati Swami, original name Kamananayana, who was not an Advaiti, joined Ramatirtha Swami, a well-known Advaiti, at that time to learn Advaita and later to challenge the Advaita philosophy of Adi Shankara because he was an erudite scholar in Sanskrit. However, Madhusudana Saraswati Swami later realized from Ramatirtha Swami, under whom he studied Advaita philosophy, that Advaita was 100% correct. He therefore confessed to Ramatirtha Swami that his original intention in learning Advaita under him was to challenge Advaita philosophy. But now Kamananayana was convinced that Advaita was correct, and to propitiate his mistake, he would do as ordered by Ramatirtha Swami. He was then asked to take to sannyasa as a matter of repentance. Kamananayana immediately requested him for giving sannyasa. However, Ramatirtha Swami directed Kamananayana to take sannyas from Vishweshwara Swami, who was considered most respected those days. Vishweshwara Swami, however, imposed a precondition and asked Kamananayana to write a book on Shankara's Advaita philosophy as a prior test before giving sannyasa to Kamananayana. Kamananayana then wrote Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Godardha Deepika in Sanskrit. Kamananayana became Madhusudana Saraswati Swami after sannyas, and he lived for 107 years, that is 1590 to 1697. Later, Sadguru Maharshi Madayala Swami wrote Srimad Bhagavad Gita, called Gitardha Prakashamu in Telugu, that is 1885 to 1962. It is available from malayalaswami.org. Subsequently, Sri Vidya Prakashanandagiri Swami wrote Gita Makarandam in Telugu. That is 1912 to 1998. He lived. Myself, Sivakesham Vadde, and my wife, Srimati Vadde Lakshmi Prabhavati, wrote Srimad Bhagavad Gita Mukti Sopanamu Tatparya Sahita Vyakhyaanamu in 2011 in Telugu. The authors, at all the above points I explained, had all written commentary on Bhagavad Gita after practicing Bhagavad Gita and attaining God's bliss, and having convinced that Advaita philosophy is the correct version. These authors had not written anything in contravention of original intention of God as intended in the Bhagavad Gita. The two versions, the first and second version above, written in Sanskrit, and other three versions, that is, third, fourth, and fifth, were written in Telugu. They are considered to be the correct versions, as all the above five are written by people who attained Siddhi, that is, God's bliss. I am not aware of other authors who might have attained Siddhi and wrote Bhagavad Gita. So, next question. Somebody is asking, all of a sudden, some people say the Gita is not a Hindu's book for the purpose of making it a national book. Is this true? What is your view? My answer is, you are asking a question as to whether Gita will cease to be a Hindu book, because some people are thinking of making Bhagavad Gita a national book. I am not aware of the fact whether they are thinking of making Bhagavad Gita as a national book. Whether somebody makes Bhagavad Gita a national book or international book, as it has got all the features of secular character and it embraces all the noble preachings of all religions of the world, yet without any reference to any single world religion, Bhagavad Gita is fit to be declared as an international book of religions. Bhagavad Gita therefore deserves to be made not only as a national book, but even as an international book. God has taken enough care to see that all our Hindu scriptures are in Sanskrit language, the language of Sanatana Dharma. So, the origin of Bhagavad Gita cannot be forgotten. So, nobody need to have any apprehensions about the Bhagavad Gita, whether it belongs to Hindu scripture or not. God says he is ruling all the three worlds based on the principles of Bhagavad Gita. In the Varaha Puranam, a sloka is appearing to this effect, which says, Gita me ham tishtami, Gita me chottamam gruham, Gita ajnanam upasritya, Trin lokan palayamyaham. This is the sloka Lord Mahavishnu spoke in Varaha Puranam. The meaning of the above sloka is as follows. I am firmly sitting in Gita. Gita is my perfect abode. Based on the knowledge embedded in Gita, I am ruling all the three worlds. This is based on Varaha Puranam. So if they want to make Bhagavad Gita a national book, it is welcome step. But Bhagavad Gita will continue to be Hindu scriptural text forever. Hindus are the legal heirs of not only Bhagavad Gita, but Ramayana, Mahabharata, Harivamsha, Yoga Vasishta, Shrutis, Smritis, Agamas, Darshanas, Subhasitas, Kavyas, Natakas, Alankaras, that is Vedas. Next question, somebody is asking, is it true that Bhagavad Gita is just a metaphorical story to show a fight within human body between good and evil? My answer is, I would put it the other way around. Mahabharata is a constant and continuous fight in the human bodies of all the human beings, starting from one infant. It tries to bend the mother by crying until mother understands infant's requirement. Point number 2, child. Child tries to assert its demands by forcing mother or father to comply with his or her requirements. Point number 3, boy. Boy tries to show his upmanship on all people present. Point number 4, girl. Girl asserts her speciality by exhibiting all the qualities of her at her command. Point number 5, adult youth. They try to become center of attraction among his or her group of friends. Point number 6, married man or woman. Husband tries to make the wife subservient to him, and the wife manages to husband her husband in a way that surpasses all the previous fellow wives. Point number 7, father tries his best to appear at the head of the family. Point number 8, mother manages her role so that she doesn't get isolated from the rest of the family members. Point number 9, grandfather, he tries to establish his hegemony at the head of the whole family. Point number 10, grandmother, she tries her best so that she is not swept under the carpet. Point number 11, wife or husband, she or he wants recognition for her or his indispensability in the family. Point number 12, father, he feels frustrated that though he is the breadwinner, nobody cares for him and his role is limited to meet everybody's necessities without much recognition for him. Point number 13, son. Son makes his best efforts to meet the requirements of the situation by telling yes, yes, until marriage. Once married, he becomes a passive listener and a silent spectator. Point number 14, mother. Mother understands his son's inability to convince his wife and compromise on everything and resigns to her fate. Point number 15, son. Son knows fully well what all sacrifices his mother made to give him the present position of what he is now, but becomes helpless under the overall high-handed behavior of his new wife. Point number 16, father. Father tries his best to get a good match for his daughter or daughter's daughter, etc. Point number 7, the other relationship between mother and daughter, great-grandfather, great-grandmother, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law, father-in-law, daughter-in-law, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, teacher-student, employer-employee, seller-purchaser, owner, tenant, neighbors, colleagues, doctors, patients, etc., all seem as an ongoing fight within the human bodies of all these groups of people between asuric qualities versus daivic qualities, that is, noble qualities, or between the good and the evil qualities of all human beings. So this fight goes on from womb to tomb. It starts with baby crying for milk to performing the last rites of the deceased or departed soul of the dear or near ones. However, Bhagavad Gita acts as a doctor, surgeon, antidote, panacea for all the ailments afflicting the human body in the form of all evil qualities to convert the vices into virtues. Bhagavad Gita prescribes medicines for each disease of the human mind, cures them on a permanent basis, and makes humans drink nectar that cures them not only for one life but forever. I hope I have clarified your doubt. Next question. Somebody is asking, is it necessary to read slokas of the Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit, or can one read only its meanings? Is it necessary to read the Mahatmyam in the same way? My answer is, this is a very good question. Before answering your question, let me give you a quote from the Padma Puranam. Sarva Shastramayi Gita, Sarva Vedamayo Harihi, Sarva Tirthamayi Ganga, Sarva Tejomayo Ravihi. The meaning of the above sloka is as follows. Just as Ganga water is the most sacred of all tirthas, just as sun is the brightest of all glowing objects, just as God Hari is the most revered of all gods, in the same way, Gita is the essence of all Shastras. So if you simply read Gita slokas, you get great punyam. If you understand and read, you get 4 times more punyam. So it is better to understand and read. Similarly, it is better to read Gita Mahatmyam also after the Parayana. Next question, somebody is asking, where can I get the original copy of the Hindu's holy book, the Gita? My answer is, you can get a copy of Bhagavad Gita from Ramakrishna Mat, bookstalls, in railway stations, and maybe from reputed bookstalls. However, reading basic Bhagavad Gita, you will not understand anything unless you know Sanskrit. So I suggest you to read Sivananda Saraswati Swami's Bhagavad Gita, English version, available. Next question, somebody is asking, is teaching Gita in schools prohibited according to Indian law? My answer is, there is no banning of Bhagavad Gita teaching in schools in India in a direct way. But whenever any school takes lead in trying to teach Bhagavad Gita in schools, the minority sections of the people make a lot of noise and literally force the school from stopping of Bhagavad Gita teaching by resorting to all sorts of coercive methods. God is great. Let us see what happens in future. Next question. Somebody is asking, where can I buy online Bhagavad Gita, English version? My answer is, you buy the Bhagavad Gita by Swami Shivananda Saraswati from Amazon.in. This is the only Bhagavad Gita written in English by a God-blessed Swami. He can buy it without any hesitation. There are other Bhagavad Gitas written by God-blessed Swamis, but they are mostly in Telugu, as I know, not in English. Next question, somebody is asking, Hinduism, is Ramayana as historically accurate as Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, Mahabharata is relatively of recent origin, 5200 to 5400 BC, years old, as it pertains to events in Dwapara Yuga, whereas Ramayana is more than 12,96,000 years old, as it pertains to Treta Yuga. So it is difficult to provide historical evidence to Ramayana. However, there is no doubt about the authenticity of Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Bhagavad Gita having actually happened in India. Next question, somebody is asking, which books are good interpretations of the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, I have read many commentaries, that is interpretations on Bhagavad Gita, but I will write about only those that I consider them as good and correct interpretations. Many people write commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, but majority of them are written with commercial motive. You should not go near them. For writing correct interpretation on Bhagavad Gita, one must have been blessed by God to be able to understand and interpret Bhagavad Gita in correct perspective. And among many I have read almost 30 Gitas. I consider the following as best in the order in which they are written. Number 1, Shankara Bhashyam, Sanskrit. Number 2, Godardha Deepika by Sri Madhusudana Saraswati in Sanskrit. Number 3, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Gitaartha Prakasham by Malayala Swami, Telugu, available from malayalaswami.org. Number 4, Gita Makarandam by Sri Vidya Prakashanandagiri, Telugu. The translation versions of this book are available in English, Hindi, Kannada, maybe one more language, I don't recall. Number 5, Srimad Bhagavad Gita Mukti Sopanamu Tatparya Sahita Vyakhyanamu by Dr. Godde Shivakeshavam, Telugu. It is available personally from myself. You can contact me on my phone number 63006226. I repeat, 6300226286 through WhatsApp message. I will send you the book by registered post. You must give your complete address and phone number. Now, number 6 is Bhagavad Gita by Swami Shivananda Saraswati. It is in English. Even though I have not read this book at point number 6 above, Swami Shivananda Saraswati attained Siddhi, and so you can buy this also. I think I have given answer to your question. Hari Om. Next question. Do I get same blessings by reading Bhagavad Gita in English as people who are blessed by reading Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit or Hindi? This is a very innocent question. If you ask me in which language I laugh, I really don't know how to answer. Same way, it does not depend on which language you read Bhagavad Gita. Whether you have read and understood Bhagavad Gita or not, that is what is important. To obtain full result, number 1, you must read Bhagavad Gita. Number 2, you must understand Bhagavad Gita. Number 3, you must practice Bhagavad Gita. And number 4, Bhagavad Gita must become your way of life and living. Once you fulfill all the above 4 conditions, you are bound to get the results like those who have been blessed by Lord Sri Krishna, Gitacharya. As you intend to study Bhagavad Gita in English, read Bhagavad Gita by Shivananda Saraswati Swami. Next question. Somebody is asking, what is the best Hindi translation of the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is Gita Makarandam by Vidya Prakashanandagiri Swami, written originally in Telugu, is translated into Hindi. This is definitely one of the best books in Bhagavad Gita because Vidya Prakashanandagiri Swami attained Siddhi and also wrote Gita Makarandam. If anybody wants to understand Bhagavad Gita in its true form, one must read Gitas written by God-blessed people and not books written by pundits and scholars. Next question, somebody is asking, what was your reaction after reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita? How did you feel? My answer is, before answering your question, let me give you background as to how I got introduced to Bhagavad Gita. I was to go to Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore for my PhD coursework in 1988, January. As my wife would be alone at home after my departure, to give her a little diversion, I purchased a copy of Bhagavad Gita and gave it to my wife and asked her to read it in my absence and if she gets free time. After I returned from Bangalore, I just inquired my wife as to how she spent her time in my absence. She questioned, "Why did you not buy such a good book all these years?" I inquired, "Which book?" She replied, "Bhagavad Gita." "Did you read it? How was it?" I inquired. She told, "It was a wonderful book." She inquired whether I read it earlier. I said no, and added, "I purchased for you so that you can read it in your leisure time." She immediately told, "You must read this book." I replied, "Okay, I will read it." She insisted, "No, you must read it." I questioned, "When do I get time to read it?" She told very firmly, "I don't know how you will find time, but you must read it." She almost asserted. I can't say no to my wife's demand, but I don't get time in my busy official schedule. But my wife did not leave me until I gave her a word that I would be reading the Bhagavad Gita book. Those days, I used to get up normally around 6 o'clock in the morning, and I returned to bed not before 11 o'clock in the night. To fulfill my wife's desire of reading Bhagavad Gita, I started getting up at 4 o'clock early morning and started reading Bhagavad Gita. It was only after I started reading Bhagavad Gita I came to know why my wife was so insistent on my reading Bhagavad Gita. Reading of Bhagavad Gita was so absorbing for me those days that very reluctantly I used to keep it aside at 6 o'clock to prepare for my daily official routine. After reading Bhagavad Gita, I felt my fate and my wife's fate appeared completely altered. We both regretted for having wasted our time all those years. We resolved that the rest of our life must be fruitfully spent on Bhagavad Gita, and we did that. In the process, Bhagavad Gita became so dear to both of us that I used to play an audio cassette of Bhagavad Gita every day morning before going to office. This I played for almost 10 to 12 years. I used to keep a small pocket size of Bhagavad Gita in my pocket, one copy in my office desk, one copy in my room where I spend most of my time at home. My life and my wife's life were fully filled with Bhagavad Gita. Afterwards, I read many Bhagavad Gitas, Ramayana, Bhagavatam, Mahabharatam, etc., etc. We went to a Guruji and pursued our spiritual practices more vigorously, and God blessed us with Jivan Mukti. And later we authored the Bhagavad Gita entitled Srimad Bhagavad Gita Mukti Sopanamu, Tatparya Saita Vyakhyanam by Uddeshikesham in Telugu. Today I can say that Bhagavad Gita is more dearer to us, my wife and me, than anything else in life. Next question, somebody is asking, what are the best sayings from the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, all are good shlokas in Bhagavad Gita. Each shloka is a solid grain. There is no chaff in Bhagavad Gita. However, if you ask with some reference to your question, I can suggest, as it is, Bhagavad Gita is all nectar, no waste material. It is by the grace of Lord Sri Krishna himself this world of humanity has been blessed with the Bhagavad Gita, making Arjuna only instrumental in the process. Otherwise, we are all required to read all the scriptures, which are so voluminous, and a single life is not considered sufficient to learn all of them, to understand the essence of all the religions in the world. A single text of the Bhagavad Gita is found to be the quintessence of all religions and all the scriptures of the world. We are all beholden to the magnificent, most benevolent grace of the God. I have given elsewhere, while answering other questions, some selected slokas depending on the context, which you may consult further. Next question, somebody is asking, how many different meters, chanda, are used in the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, Bhagavad Gita is having a total of 701 slokas. In that, a total of 5 chandas, meters were used. They are Anushtup 646, Indra Vraja 10, Upendra Vraja 4, Upajati 37, Viparita Purva 4, total 701 slokas. Another person is asking the question, things written in the Bhagavad Gita about God coming down to earth every 5,000 years, is it true? My answer is, according to Bhagavad Gita slokas 4-7 and 4-8, God is coming down to earth in every yuga. Sambhavami yuge yuge. That is 100% true. But coming once in 5,000 years is not true. Look at the relevant slokas of the Bhagavad Gita and their meaning given below. The secret of God's incarnation. God said, though I am unborn and of imperishable nature, and though I am the Lord of all beings, yet ruling over my own nature, I am born by my own Maya. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata apyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. That is 4-7. Whenever there is decline of righteousness, O Arjuna, rise of unrighteousness, then I manifest myself. This means God reincarnates. That which elevates a man and helps him to reach the goal of life and attain knowledge is dharma, that is righteousness. That which drags him into worldliness is adharma, that is unrighteousness. That which helps a man to attain liberation is dharma, and that which makes him irreligious is adharma or unrighteousness. Paritranaya sadhunam vinachaya cha duskrutam dharma samsthapanardhaya sambhavami yuge yuge. That is 4-8. For the protection of the good, for the destruction of the wicked, and for the establishment of righteousness, I, God, am born in every age or era. This is the meaning of the sloka 4-8. I hope it is now clear as to why the God takes reincarnation in every yuga. God reincarnates in every yuga to restore dharma and remove adharma. Whenever adharma is on the uprise, when unrighteousness increases alarmingly, God will reincarnate himself to restore the dharma or order. Next question, somebody is asking, does the Bhagavad Gita tell you to be emotionless? My answer is, my dear friend, Bhagavad Gita is not asking you to be emotionless. It is asking you to see your wife with passion and emotion. But don't see everybody with the same feeling. A woman is the symbol of Jagannatha. You can see her as mother, sister, grandmother, great-grandmother, servant, doctor, nurse, teacher, guru, guide, philosopher, wife. But you can see only one woman as your wife, and that too your married wife. Not to treat your married wife as a wife is also a crime. So where is the scope for your question? So Bhagavad Gita is not asking you to be emotionless, but Bhagavad Gita is asking you to have right emotion with the right, correct people. Okay? Now somebody else is asking another question. Was Bhagavad Gita known to people before Krishna preached it to Arjuna? My answer is, in Treta Yugam, that is the time when Lord Rama lived, that is 12,96,000 years prior to Dwapara Yuga, time of Lord Krishna lived, sage Vasishtha preached Lord Rama Vasishtha Gita, which is similar to Bhagavad Gita preached by Lord Krishna to Arjuna during Dwapara Yuga. Sage Vasishtha preached to Lord Rama when Rama was 16 years. Soon after a pilgrimage around the country, Lord Rama fully realized the impermanence of human life and developed a dejection on all worldly and princely matters, and was reluctant to take any interest in his normal princely routine. At that time, sage Vasishtha preached Yoga Vasistam, that is Vasishtha Gita, to Lord Rama to make him get emboldened in discharging and doing his duties in a way similar to what Lord Krishna preached to Arjuna in the form of Bhagavad Gita just before Mahabharata war. Just as Arjuna agreed to participate in Mahabharata war after listening to Bhagavad Gita from Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Rama also agrees to participate in princely duties of Ayodhya after listening to Vasishtha Gita from Sage Vasishtha Maharshi. Both Vasishtha Gita and Bhagavad Gita preach essentially the same principles to remove ajnanam or moham that engulfed Lord Rama in Ramayana and Arjuna in Mahabharata in the respective yugas. Further, in Vasishtha Gita, sage Vasishtha told as a forecast that in Dwapara Yuga, Lord Krishna would preach about Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna during Mahabharata war. When Arjuna becomes deluded by Moham and refuses to fight war with Kauravas. What a great prediction by the Indian sages. Sage Vasishtha called that as Arjunopakhyanam in Vasishtha Gita, that is in Nirvana Prakaranam. So we can say that the contents of Bhagavad Gita were revealed in Treta Yugam itself by sage Vasishtha to Lord Rama about 12,96,000 years prior to Mahabharata war in Dwapara Yuga. Now another question somebody is asking, is there any sloka in Bhagavad Gita related to the brain? My answer is yes. Slokas 10-34, sloka 15-15 of Bhagavad Gita pertain to human brain. In 10-34, God said, Mritir Medha Dhriti Kshama. That means, I, God, I am in the memory, intelligence, determination, and forbearance. In sloka 15-15, God said, Matta Smritirjnanam Apohanancha. That means, I, God, am the memory, wisdom, and forgetfulness. God is everything in this world. So keep praying, God. Don't harm anybody and keep doing your duty. This is my advice. And in fact, God told in sloka 7-7 that there is nothing here, not even an atom without Him. Matta parataram nada kinchidasti dhananjaya maisarvamidam protam sutre maniganayava. Just as flowers are embedded in the thread in a garland, the whole world is embedded in me like beads in the mala. This is the essence of sloka 7-7. So, but only when you understand Gita fully, you will realize this knowledge. So, I ask you to read and practice Bhagavad Gita. Another person is asking question, why is Gita preached but not practiced in India? My answer is, this is most uncharitable statement by anybody could make. If this questioner who framed this particular question has any basic knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, he should feel rather extremely sorry for framing this type of question. I think even for asking questions like this, there are minimum norms to be followed. If they are not there, I urge them to address this issue with right priority. My dear friend, because there are people practicing Bhagavad Gita in India, you find so many ashrams, mutts, sadhus, sants, matadipatis, pitadipatis, Sanskrit scholars, pandits, who have dedicated their lives for studying Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, Yoga Vasistam, Upanishads, etc., etc. In the present day world, though there is no recognition for them. And this world is running because there are people who are still practicing Bhagavad Gita in India. I will ask the question of only one thing. Please don't gauge everybody at your level. So I think I will stop it here for today. And I will pray God and then close today's session. Om Yadaksharapadabhrashtam matra hiram cha yadbhavet tatsarvam kshamyatam deva paramesha namostute harihi om tatsat.
హరి ఓం
Hari Om.
హరి ఓం అంతా బాగా వచ్చిందండి రికార్డింగ్.
Very good.
నేను అంతర్ముఖంగానే చేసుకుంటున్నానండి. లాస్ట్ వీక్ ఇప్పటికి ఇంప్రూవ్మెంట్ కనబడింది.
Good.
నేను అంతర్ముఖంగానే చేసుకుంటున్నాను.
My advice is always practice, practice, practice.
అవునండి.
Don't
అవును. అవును. అవును.
My Guruji told one thing, same thing I am repeating to you. Start the day with God.
ఎస్. ఎస్.
Fill the day with God.
ఎండ్
End
ద
the
డే.
day with God. If you do this, my dear Venkatratam, see you will become Lord Venkateswara. This is the secret. This is the secret. Many people don't know. See, I'm telling you, God is not different from you, my dear. You are God. Understand? So,
అది స్టాప్ ద రికార్డింగ్ అండి.
what else?
ఇంకా అంతే సార్. ఇంకా బాగా సాగుతుంది, సాధన అంతా బాగుందండి.
Hmm.
ఇట్స్ గోయింగ్ గుడ్. ఇట్స్ గోయింగ్ గుడ్.
Okay. Okay, Venkatratam then.
సరే అండి.
Hari Om.
ఓకే.
Hari Om.
హరి ఓం. హరి ఓం.